In a quiet hamlet on the edge of a dense forest, a family had recently settled into a new life. 12-year-old Masha and her 8-year-old sister Dasha lived with their parents, Anna and Sergei, in a cozy house surrounded by towering pines. They had moved from the city, seeking peace, but the forest looming behind their property held secrets they couldn't have imagined. One crisp autumn evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the air grew heavy with the scent of pine and damp earth, Masha and Dasha played in the yard. Anna was inside preparing dinner, while Sergei tinkered with an old bicycle in the shed. Suddenly, Dasha froze, her eyes fixed on the dark line of trees. "Masha, do you hear that?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "What?" Masha looked up from her phone and strained her ears. At first, there was only silence, but then a faint whisper drifted from the forest, like a child's voice humming an eerie, unfamiliar melody. "It's just the wind," Masha said, though her voice wavered. She grabbed Dasha's hand. "Let's go inside." But Dasha pulled away, stepping closer to the trees. "No, there's someone out there. I heard words. They're calling us." Anna overheard them through the open kitchen window and stepped onto the porch. "Girls, stop imagining things. The forest is dangerous at night. Come inside. Dinner's ready." Dasha shook her head stubbornly. "Mom, there's really someone singing. It's not the wind." Sergei emerged from the shed, wiping grease from his hands. "Let's check it out, just to put your minds at ease," he said, though a flicker of unease crossed his face. Grabbing a flashlight, he led the family toward the forest's edge, despite Anna's protests. The whispering grew louder as they approached, but the words remained indistinct. It ebbed and flowed, as if beckoning them deeper into the woods. Sergei's flashlight beam darted between the trees, but the light seemed to drown in the darkness. Masha clung to Dasha's hand, and Anna glanced nervously over her shoulder. "This isn't right, Sergei," Anna whispered. "Let's go back." But Dasha pointed ahead. "Look!" In the distance, a faint glow flickered between the trees like a candle's flame. It moved as if carried by an unseen hand. Sergei stepped forward, but Anna grabbed his sleeve. "Don't go there. It could be dangerous." "Mom, it's a kid," Dasha insisted. "I hear them crying." Masha, though older, felt a chill crawl up her spine. "Dad, let's leave. I'm scared." Sergei, ever the rational one, thought it might be someone lost. "I'll just take a look. Stay here." He ventured deeper, and the whispering stopped. The glow vanished, leaving the forest in oppressive silence. Anna held the girls close, her heart pounding. After what felt like an eternity, Sergei returned, his face pale. "There's nothing there," he said, his voice unsteady. "Just an old clearing with a stone in the middle. It had some carved symbols, like letters, but I couldn't make them out." Back home, the family locked the doors and windows. Anna forbade the girls from mentioning the forest again. But that night, Masha couldn't sleep. She searched online for information about their hamlet and found an old article about missing children who had heard a calling voice in the woods. None of them ever returned. The next day, Dasha admitted she heard the whispering again, this time from beneath the house. Masha, frightened, told their parents. Sergei checked the basement with a flashlight but found only dusty boxes and cobwebs. Yet, when he returned, he carried a small stone with a carved symbol, identical to those in the forest. He didn't tell anyone, but he couldn't bring himself to throw it away. From that day, the forest no longer felt like just a forest. The whispering returned on quiet autumn nights, a reminder that some mysteries are better left untouched. A week passed since that terrifying evening, but the air in the house remained thick with unease. Anna watched the girls like a hawk, forbidding them from nearing the forest. Sergei grew quieter, often retreating to the shed under the pretense of fixing tools. Masha noticed him clutching the strange stone, his fingers tracing its carved symbol, as if it held answers. Dasha, despite her young age, seemed fixated on the forest, her sketchbook filled with odd patterns, eerily similar to the symbols Sergei had seen. When Masha asked where they came from, Dasha shrugged. "They come to me in my dreams." One night, Masha woke to a faint tapping from beneath the floor. Lying in the dark, she heard Dasha muttering in her sleep, "Come here, we're waiting." Her blood ran cold. She crept to Dasha's bed and shook her awake. Dasha's eyes opened, but they were vacant, staring through Masha. "Dasha, what are you saying?" "Who's waiting?" Masha whispered, trying not to wake their parents. Dasha blinked, her gaze returning to normal. I don't know. I dreamed someone was calling me to the stone in the forest. It wants me to come." Masha dismissed it as childish imagination, but told Anna the next morning. Anna, usually skeptical, went pale. "No more talk about the forest, understood?" she snapped, but her voice betrayed fear. She began researching the house's history, visiting the local library. There, she found records about a woman named Elena Kuznetsova, who lived on their land decades ago. Locals called her a witch, claiming she performed rituals in the forest. After her death, children in the hamlet started vanishing, drawn by a whispering call. Meanwhile, Sergei noticed the stone in his pocket growing warm at odd times. One night, he woke with the sensation of being watched. A shadowy child stood in the corner of the room, but when he flicked on the light, it was gone. The next day, he decided to return to the forest to confront the mystery of the stone. "I'm coming with you," Masha declared, catching him preparing. She was tired of fear and wanted answers. Reluctantly, Sergei agreed, but swore her to secrecy. They reached the clearing by daylight, when the forest seemed less menacing. The large stone still stood, its moss-covered surface etched with deeper symbols. Masha noticed one matched Dasha's drawings exactly. Sergei pulled out the small stone and, to his horror, saw it fit perfectly into a groove on the larger stone, like a key. "Dad, don't touch it," Masha cried, but it was too late. Sergei inserted the stone, and the forest came alive. The whispering roared back, now clear and multiplied, as if dozens of voices spoke at once. The ground trembled, and Masha saw pale, translucent figures emerge from the shadows, children with hollow eyes reaching for them. "Run!" Sergei shouted, grabbing Masha. They fled to the house, the whispers chasing them. As they slammed the door shut, Anna stood waiting, her face ashen. Dasha sat on the couch, humming the same eerie melody from the forest. "What have you done?" Anna cried, but her voice was drowned by a new sound. A slow, rhythmic knock echoed from the door, as if someone or something demanded entry. The knocking grew louder, each thud reverberating through the house like a heartbeat. Anna clutched Dasha, whispering prayers she hadn't recalled since childhood. Her lips trembled, her eyes darting around the room, seeking safety in the familiar walls that now felt like a trap. Masha stood by the window, her fingers digging into the sill until her knuckles whitened. Through the glass, she saw them, shadows coalescing into childlike forms, twisting under the moonlight in a grotesque, silent dance. Their hands reached toward the house, fingers clawing at the air, leaving invisible scratches on Masha's skin. Sergei, the family's rock, looked broken. He gripped his phone, but the screen flashed, no signal, as if the forest had severed their link to the world. Knife in hand, he approached the door. "Get out of here!" he shouted, but his voice cracked. The response was a chilling giggle, childlike, playful, yet laced with malice. The laughter multiplied, echoing from the trees, as if the entire forest mocked them. Dasha lifted her head from the couch. Her eyes, usually bright, were now glassy, like a doll's. "They're not angry," she whispered. "They're just lonely. They want us to play with them." "Forever," Anna shuddered, pulling Dasha closer. "What are you saying, sweetheart?" "Who are they?" Dasha turned, and for a moment something ancient flickered in her gaze. "The children of the forest. They've lived here for centuries, and now they've chosen us." Masha couldn't take it. She ran to the computer, typing frantically, whispering forest hamlet legends. The internet crawled, as if the forest interfered, but pages loaded. Forums, old articles, blogs, they all told the same story. In the 1920s, Elena Kuznetsova lived here, a healer who spoke with spirits. Her son, Petya, died of fever, and in her grief, she performed a ritual at the clearing stone. It was meant to bring him back, but opened a door to the dead. Children began disappearing, lured by a calling voice into the woods, never to return. One post warned, "If you find a stone with symbols, destroy it, but the spirits will fight you." The knocking grew deafening, accompanied by a scraping like nails on wood. Whispers seeped through the cracks. "Open the door, play with us." Anna wept silently. "We can't stay here. We have to leave." But the car in the yard seemed miles away, blocked by shadows. Masha turned to Sergei. "Dad, that stone, it's the key. We need to destroy it." He nodded, pulling the small stone from his pocket. Placing it on the table, he grabbed a hammer from his toolbox. With one strike, the stone shattered, the sound shaking the windows. Gray smoke poured from the cracks, forming a figure, a pale boy in old-fashioned clothes, his eyes black voids. "Why did you break my home?" he whispered, his voice a chorus of children. The family recoiled. Anna shielded Dasha. Masha clutched her grandmother's cross necklace, and Sergei raised the knife. "Who are you?" he demanded. The spirit smiled, revealing sharp, unnatural teeth. "I'm Petya, and all of us. Mama tried to bring me back, but the forest took us all. Now we need new bodies, new friends." His form flickered, revealing other faces, girls, boys, their expressions twisted in pain. Dasha reached out. "Petya, do you want to play?" Anna yanked her back. "No." But Dasha was in a trance, her eyes rolling back. The spirit drifted closer, the air turning icy. Masha remembered the forum post. Salt! They fear salt! They scrambled to the kitchen, scattering salt on the floor around them. The spirit hissed and retreated. "You can't hide forever," it whispered, dissolving into the air. But the house was no sanctuary. At night, the whispers returned from the walls, the floor. Masha heard voices telling stories of lost children, their games in the forest where losers vanished forever. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling where shadows formed shapes. The next day, they searched the basement. Dasha insisted they hide there during the day. Sergei went first, flashlight in hand. The air was damp, reeking of mold, and something sickly sweet, like decay. In a corner stood an old trunk, thick with dust. Inside were broken toys, headless wooden soldiers, eyeless dolls, yellowed letters. At the bottom, an urn labeled Elena. When Sergei touched it, the basement stirred. Walls shook. Shadows slithered from corners, forming children who surrounded him, their cold hands grasping. "Papa!" Masha screamed from the stairs, but he was struggling, feeling icy fingers at his throat. He scattered salt from his pocket, and the spirits shrieked, retreating. They brought the urn upstairs. Anna read the letters. Elena's diary. "I called the forest spirits to bring Petya back. They tricked me. Now they demand more souls. The stone is their door. To close it, burn the ashes at the clearing under the moon with the blood of the living." That night, the moon was full, armed with salt, holy water from a nearby church. Flashlights and knives, they ventured into the forest. Trees whispered, branches clawed at their clothes. Roots writhed like snakes. Shadows trailed them, sometimes taking form, a girl in a torn dress, a boy without eyes. At the clearing, the stone glowed faintly. They dug a pit, placed the urn inside and each cut a finger, letting blood drip. Sergei lit a match, and flames roared. The spirits screamed, wind howled, and lightning struck without thunder. Elena appeared, a grieving specter. "What are you doing? It's my fault, but you can't stop them." The spirits attacked. One seized Anna, flooding her mind with visions, her children dead in the woods. She screamed, fighting back. Masha threw salt, repelling them. Dasha stood in the center, trembling as spirits tried to enter her. "Mama, they're inside," she cried. Sergei finished the ritual, shouting Elena's words. "Return to the earth from whence you came. The door is closed." The fire consumed the urn, the ground shook, and the spirits melted away, their cries fading into the night. Elena approached one last time. "Thank you." But the forest remembers, the whispers never die. She vanished, and silence fell. The family returned home, exhausted, but it wasn't over. A week later, Dasha began to change. Her skin paled. She spoke in Old Slavic in her sleep. Masha found new drawings in her sister's room, symbols, children in the forest. "They're still here," Dasha whispered one day, "in us." Anna heard whispers in her mind, urging her to return to the forest. Sergei dreamed he was Petya, dying of fever. Masha sought help, exorcists, paranormal experts. They found an old man who knew the legend. The ritual was incomplete. He said, "It needs a sacrifice, the blood of the innocent to seal it." They refused, but the spirits persisted. Objects moved at night. Mirrors showed dead faces. One night, Anna woke in the forest, unaware of how she got there, standing by the stone, muttering, "I'll give myself." The family prepared for a final stand. They returned to the clearing with the exorcist. He performed a rite, holy words, incense, their blood. The spirits appeared in force, an army of lost souls. The battle was chaos. Winds roared, the earth quaked, visions tore at their minds. Dasha, the most vulnerable, became the focus. Petya's spirit tried to possess her. "You'll be my new body." Masha, desperate, cut her hand deeper, offering her blood instead. "Take me." The exorcist intervened, shouting a final incantation. Light flared, the spirits writhed and vanished in a vortex. Silence returned, true this time. The family moved to the city, to an apartment high above the ground. But sometimes, amid the urban noise, they hear an echo of the whispers. Dasha draws normal pictures now, but a shadow lingers in her eyes. Masha writes a book, warning others. Anna and Sergei hold tight, but they know the forest waits. If you hear the whispers, run. Masha lying awake, hearing breathing under her bed, slow, rasping. She looks nothing, but feels a touch on her leg. Anna cooks dinner, and the knife cuts her finger on its own, blood dripping into the food as a voice whispers, "Tasty, isn't it?" Sergei sees Petya's face in the steamed bathroom mirror instead of his own. Dasha's toys come alive, dolls turning their heads, whispering secrets. They see a psychologist, who calls it collective hallucination. But how to explain the scratches appearing on their bodies at night? They find an old video online, a grainy recording of Elena's ritual, showing children laughing as they enter the forest, then screaming. The family tries moving, but the whispers follow like a curse. They return to the hamlet to destroy the stone, using explosives from a friend of Sergei's. The blast shatters it, and the forest groans. The spirits rage. Storms, floods, the family hides in a church, aided by a priest. Finally, the chaos subsides. But Dasha says, "They're gone, but they'll come back when I grow up."